Hello, this is Liberty Mark 222. I'm just going to comment about this interview that Silver Doctors had with Jim Willey. He's with the Golden Jackass. And every time I hear Jim Willey, I think he's got some very important information, very unique information that you don't hear from practically anybody else about the gold market. And so, anyway, the title of his presentation was about Deutsche Bank. And what he was saying was that for the last 6 to 8 weeks, the Deutsche Bank has been on the brink of insolvency, and they've had not only insolvency from day to day, trying to keep things going. They've had their leader, what was his name? He had stepped down. Joseph Ackerman. He was raided by the Interpol, and they took his files, and they are finding out all the fraud that they committed with these credit default swaps. They said with these sovereign nation bonds, basically what they did was they took the bad debt from Greece and Italy, France, I guess all the kind of the southern European countries, and they derivatized them and took them off the books. And he said that there's about $1.4 quadrillion in derivatives. And so there's 3 banks, he says, that are on the brink of insolvency: Citigroup, Barclays, and Deutsche Bank. But Deutsche Bank's the most dangerous, he said. He said that he said also that he said that silver is going to go over $100 and gold is going to go over $5,000 an ounce. And he's talking about these bullion banks, how they have all these long delays in delivering product. And he said basically what they're doing is they don't have the gold and silver, they're just going out and buying it, and that's why it's taking 6 to 8 weeks or whatever it takes to get the gold. He's talking about how the COMEX vaults are way down. The JP Morgan's gold and silver they don't even have silver, I guess, but gold is way down. He said that they're selling the gold from JP Morgan and I guess from GLD, and they're selling it in Shanghai where they're getting a $20 to $40 per ounce premium. And he was saying the biggest problem with all these banks and everything is that there's no rule of law anymore. That it's a fascist business model. It's the state and big corporations are united to commit fraud and criminality. So anyway, I think that's, and he's saying how that Fort Knox doesn't have any gold. He said there's like 4,100 tons that are gone. It's just nerve gas there. He talked to some manager from COMEX in Chicago, and he became the manager at Fort Knox, and that's how he found out this stuff. And they said that Robert Rubin and Clinton made about $2 to $3 trillion selling this gold in Fort Knox. And he's talking about how these different bullion banks are not redeeming their funds in gold anymore, but in cash, and it's legal. So, and also they're saying that Russia has about 20,000 tons of gold right now, and China has 15,000 tons of gold, and that they're going to start these gold-based trade settlements. Okay, so all these things that he's talking about how these banks are on the brink of insolvency, he said that what's going to happen is if Barclays or Citigroup or Deutsche Bank go under, that it's going to get swallowed up by a bigger bank. They're not going to just disappear. They're all tied into each other. So a bigger bank has to take them over. And it sounds like, to me, like they have a plan. They want to set up, they know that these banks are going to fail, that they got to do something about it, but they want to do it in their timing and to their advantage. So I think they know all about it. They're going to set up the public. I think it's going to be like 2009 again, where probably where the stock market drops, 20, 30, 40, 50%, and they're going to basically skim a whole bunch of money from American individuals. They're going to take a bunch of money from these pension funds, in a sense, everybody that's been putting their 401ks into stocks and whatnot. So people, you can't get the bonds are dropping like crazy because of the yields are the interest rates are going up. They're saying it might go up to 3% by the end of the year. I've heard people talk about that. So the T-bills are a bad deal right now. They're losing a lot of money right now, and the stocks are real dangerous. And so if they crash the market like they probably have it planned, then it'll be like another 25% haircut for all the Americans. A big cash grab, I guess, in a sense. Then they'll probably want to reinflate it again, and they'll probably buy up all the shares when they're down. It might take 6 months to get down or so, and then they'll buy these stocks, and it'll start reinflating again. So anyway, I think it's real significant that Russia and China have such huge holdings of gold, and we don't have any holdings of gold. We've been selling, all the central banks in Europe and America have been selling the gold to Asia, and all we have is the printing presses. We got the petrodollar. We have the reserve currency of the world, and we have the military. So it definitely looks like there's going to be more war. Probably that's what they're going to have to, they'll end up fighting in the Middle East more. They've been setting up to fight against Iran for a long time, and Israel's been itching to fight against Iran for a long time, especially since Iran is not selling their oil in dollars. So that makes them a big target. And Russia also. Russia is a big target to these people also. So I think that's the next phase right there. As far as our currency collapsing, I don't think that's going to happen, because all they do is they just keep lowering the velocity of money. It's like they're putting a brake on the economy, and they just lie about the figures, about like unemployment and inflation. I was watching a really good video last night, where the guy is saying how it's not that we're going to have inflation or deflation. We're going to get inflation and deflation. The things that matter as far as inflation, such as food and energy, are going to go up a lot, and then the price of things that are not so vital, or where you have to have credit, probably like housing or like cars or any kind of luxury items for like the middle class, is going to go way down. Now the luxury items for the mega rich are going to go way up. we're already seeing record prices for everything. I mean, you see the prices for the top athletes, football, baseball, they're going way up. The prices for, rare paintings, all-time highs. For baseball cards, that Honus Wagner card, all-time high. If it's a top luxury thing, like the most expensive cars in the world, those are going off the charts. People paying $1 million, $2 million for a car, but the average luxury items for the average person is going to go way down. So I mean, you look at Walmart, you go in there, all the goods are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. They're all the goods are just going down that way. So I guess that's what I have to go on. Thank you, Jim Willey. Thank you, Silver Doctors. This is Liberty Mark 222.